Hello and welcome back to our channel where we explore how technology is transforming the future of healthcare. I'm your host Kanika Malhotra, and today we are diving into one of the most exciting frontiers in medicine, AI in clinical workflows. And joining us today is Dr. Satyender Goel, all the way from Chicago, the Chief AI Officer at Humeta, a leader at the intersection of healthcare and cutting edge AI. Dr. Satyender Goel is a tech entrepreneur and innovator with 15 plus years of experience in data science, AI, blockchain, and digital transformation. He holds 12 plus patents and has co founded and led 4 successful ventures across the US and abroad. Satyender serves on multiple boards, advises on strategy, innovation. He holds a PhD and also a business certificate from Kellogg School of Management. With deep tech experience and global leadership experience, he is committed to creating impactful tech driven solutions. We'll talk today about how AI is shaping everyday clinical practice with RAG, that's Retrieval-Augmented Generation. We'll discuss that in simple terms and how it can actually help the doctors in high pressure environments like OPDs, IPDs, ICUs, and plus we'll hear from him real world stories on AI already making a difference. So with further ado, let's get started. Dr. Goel, welcome to our podcast.
Thanks, Kanika, and appreciate your mouthful of the introduction. Glad to be here.
So, Dr. Goel, let's get started. As a Chief AI Officer, you are at the forefront of bringing cutting edge AI into healthcare. Could you share how AI is directly shaping the clinical workflows today, not in theory, but in real, everyday practice?
Of course, and Kanika, although we say cutting edge AI in healthcare, but we're not talking about any sci-fi future. This is happening right now in clinical workflows. The only thing which have changed in over last, let's say 3, 4, 5 years is we moved from classical AI, adding a generative AI flavor to the same. So now what we are seeing is the AI has been starting to impact the documentation by auto drafting, visit notes, discharge summaries, patient letters, and cutting hours and hours of charting burden which clinicians already had. So as you rightly mentioned, RAG, the Retrieval-Augmented Generation, is giving clinicians real-time, evidence-backed answers in their existing EHR system. So no separate searches, no outdated guidelines, and again, not wasting hours and hours of time which they were previously doing. So we also got predictive analytics, right? Which is what the classical AI was, now powered by machine learning, flagging patients at high risk for complications before symptoms even appear. So teams can intervene early. So now think about combining the power of classical AI with generative AI, and so you get this best beautiful feature, which is just changing the life of clinicians and clinics in general and improving patient outcomes.
So one of the buzzwords in modern AI is RAG, as you mentioned, Retrieval-Augmented Generation. For our listeners who may not be familiar, could you break it down into simple analogy, and more importantly, why does RAG matter for clinical decision support systems compared to traditional AI?
Of course, let's take a simple example. What is traditional AI? In traditional AI, think of physicians who have studied hard and have a lot of experience, but they have that experience embedded into it. So machines in traditional AI been trained on the previous data. So now when you are using traditional AI, it's like checking, you cannot check their notes at that time, but you have the answers on already learned facts. And facts can change. As you probably know, the information in every 60 to 70 days in clinical setting is changing, but your AI is not learning that fast, right? So now bring RAG into the picture. So same physician who has experience, who has been learned all the facts when they did their medical degree, but now a RAG flips that on its head. Imagine now physician during the practice itself in the same setting has all of those medical research, patient records, trusted databases in front of them. In the milliseconds now they're able to take the decision with the latest information, and that's not just guessing. They're pulling in fresh, verified facts in real time, and that is what RAG is in compared to what traditional AI was.
So, how do you see RAG practically help clinicians, say, in a busy OPD or ICU setting where speed, accuracy, and context matters the most?
Of course, let's say in a busy OPD or ICU, patient lineup, it's been chaos everywhere, right? So the decision has to be made in seconds. That is what RAG actually really shines, right? A clinician see 40, 50 patients a day. So instead of manually digging through records, RAG can instantly pull together a patient's history, meds, recent labs into a clean summary. And the moment his chart is open, it's already available. That means doctor start the visit with context already in their hand. Apply that to the ICU, right? Now it's even more critical. A patient crashes and the teams need to know what's their allergy history, what meds are they already on, what's the latest evidence-based protocol for the scenario. RAC can retrieve and present that information in real time, directly inside the workflow. Instead of forcing clinician to click through 10 different systems or Google guidelines, that actually happens. That is where the speed, accuracy, and confidence basically is the practical impact. Clinicians don't waste time searching or guessing. They get targeted, trusted insights when and where they need them, so they can focus on saving lives. That's exactly how RAG in an ICU or OPD is changing the workflows.
And would make the life of a clinician so much easier.
Service to the patient so much better.
So much better, yeah. So one big concern with the new technologies emerging is that, they often add the complexity instead of reducing it. It adds to the burden, sometimes to the healthcare provider's head. How can AI be embedded seamlessly into a clinician's daily workflow so it actually improves the efficiency and reduces the burnout, which is too much in a country like India, rather than becoming, one more tool to manage in their lives?
See, this is the beauty of what we are trying to talk about here, right? It's not another app. It's basically intelligence which can be built into the EHR itself or any systems doctor use in real time, right? So you don't need another app where you have to log in and find this particular information here, this particular management here. It's basically real improvements when Gen AI is woven directly into the tools they already use, like EHR, as I mentioned, the dictation software, or even any kind of secure messaging platform. In India, WhatsApp and other tools are very important. So this can be embedded right therein, right? So instead of adding a new task, the AI works in the background, like auto-summarizing, right? Patient history before the clinician even open the chart, drafting clinical notes or discharge instructions as they talk to the patient, flagging potential drug interactions or missing information in real time. So this way, generative AI becomes invisible but indispensable, shaving minutes off every appointment, reducing after-hours charting, and giving clinicians more face-to-face time with patients, which is a big problem in countries like US and also in India. Now they are becoming machines. So that increases the face time value. When done right, it is not another tool to learn. It is the quiet assistant that is already in the room, taking care of the tedious stuff so the humans can focus on the healing.
So could you also share a couple of real-world examples where AI has already proven its value in clinical settings, perhaps summarizing patient histories or flagging clinical test results, or you mentioned about the ICU setup or anything else, and what kind of feedback you have received from clinicians using these systems?
See, AI and the use cases are everywhere. So at least where I sit in Chicago and in US, it's been used widely in most practices, more hospitals. And in fact, the biggest EHR which is used by the hospital system, Epic, just launched their own AI assist, which now can be available to all those hospitals which already use Epic EHR. So take an example of Mayo Clinic. They have been piloting AI tools that automatically summarizes patient history from long electronic health records. Instead of scrolling through dozens of pages, a clinician gets a crisp one-page summary highlighting the most relevant information. Doctors say it is like starting a visit already briefed, saving minutes that really add up across a full day.
Right.
Another example is Mount Sinai Health System in New York, which is a very big system where AI is being used to flag critical test results in real time. If a lab value comes back dangerously abnormal, the system doesn't just wait in the chart. it alerts the care team immediately. So clinicians have said this reduces the risk of things slipping through the cracks and help them act faster in emergencies. And broadly across multiple system testing, note drafting, AI, the feedback has been similar. Less time stuck at the computer, more time with patients, and less burnout after hours.
Right, lovely. And since you've been working on Humeta for quite some time now, how do you see that solving the problem when we talk about at a hospital level or a medical center level or in the life of a clinician? If we embed Humeta in real time, how will that make the life of a hospital functioning much more easier?
See, Humeta brings a fresh take of all of this combining together, whether it's RAG or the AI, right in front of the clinicians, and it helps in many ways. One of the simple ways is a lot of these physicians actually, while consulting patients, don't have access to what scientifically has been updated in recent times, right? Now, Humata can actually give them the information right at their hand while they're suggesting to the patient what that particular disease looks like and what's the right solution or prognosis or diagnosis of that is. Now, patients most of the times, because it's all clinical information, how to present that information to the patient so they can understand it and they can take back with them and actually talk about it, think about it, and come back and be more informed. So Humata can be embedded not only for the clinicians to provide that information to the patient at that particular moment, but also for the patient. When the patient goes back, they can use Humata to be able to think about, okay, why is this drug prescribed to me? Why is this diagnosis given to me? What does this really mean? Can you give me another example? Similar to how you asked me, like what are the different systems using generative AI for what use cases in the clinician in the hospitals? Same information can be available to the patients and the doctors in real time with the help of Humata.
And makes the person so much empowered who has come to seek the treatment, and they are in real time, and that's not just anything in the air. It is proper scientific information that they get to see, not something in the air from Instagram University.
Yeah, and also trusted. The trust matters, right?
Yes.
So the clinicians can trust a system like Humeta, and then that is available to the patient. Now the trust, again, trust as well as the recency and the the accuracy of the information, both combined together, all three combined together, gives them ease the patient's anxiety, give them more confidence, make them more informed, and they can be happier because that is also one factor. Stress increases whatever the issue they are already dealing with.
Lovely. That was Dr. Satyender Goel, the Chief AI Officer at Humeta and founder and CEO India Health Link, sharing insights on how AI is no longer just a buzzword but a real, tangible force in clinical practice, from streamlining workflows to supporting clinicians at the bedside, and the future of healthcare is already there. If you enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to follow Humeta Podcast for more deep dives. I'm your host, Kanika Malhotra. Thank you so much, Dr. Satyender Goel, for sparing time and tuning in. Until next time, let's keep building a healthier, smarter future. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kanika.